Just having a quick storm Eunice update. We're sort of in the eye of the storm at the minute. I'm certainly not going to go inside the trees. We're not doing too bad here because the worst of it, southwest, is over there, and that's where the wind's coming from, the southwest. So those pines in the distance take the worst of it. In fact, it's probably coming from that corner over there. So by the time it gets to here, it's well and truly filtered. I'm going to just have a quick look down the bottom end to see if I can see anything from a distance down here without getting knocked about in the wind. It's very, very wet underfoot. Sometimes these larches go over in the wind. They're one of the first ones to get uprooted. They are. The pines tend to snap, and the larches tend to just wallop straight over. Upturns the root plate and everything. But I can't say anything. Just like a quick visual check. Might be one down there. I can see what looks to me like a stem. Difficult to tell from here. It might even be that sweet chestnut I had, but morning. You may have noticed I'm rocking a new hat this morning. I'm not really a hat guy, but I saw it, I thought, oh, that looks pretty cool. What do you reckon? Knock 20 years off me? So this weekend, or just the weekend we just had, we had Storm Eunice. Now I've got storm something, whatever else. Who knows what that's called. And we're on the tail edges of it now. You might just, hopefully the wind doesn't knock out my sound too much on the vids. But at the moment I just wanted to have a quick look round, see what the damage is, see if any storm damage. And this is the worst area for potential damage because all the wind comes from over there, which is the south. Southwest is over that way, and southeast is over that way. So prevailing wind always hits us this way on, and so these trees on this top edge are on the crest of a hill as well. Not really a mountain hill, just a ridge in the land. So on the crest of that hill, and these trees get it all. And so I think those trees at the front, this is a bit of advice for anybody who's doing woodland management, is I would never take out that front line of trees. Even though they're all ugly, I might do a little bit of pruning on the lower branches, but those trees for me will always stay, because in fact the first three or four rows even may always stay and just have the odd bit of thinning, because to knock out those front trees, all you'll do is cause the inner trees then to be less stable. Those front edge trees have created a root system that creates stability, but and so that's great, and that's the way it'll be left. It's just, if you knock out the front edge trees, you'll end up with the whole lot going down like a box of matchsticks. But yeah, so far, looking at the potential for damage, we've actually done pretty well. And I'm sorry if you've had damage, because it can be pretty devastating, really. You're just worried about it. And if you are trying to get some sort of timber crop out of your woodland, and all you've got now is snapped trees, that's miserable. So yeah, I feel for you if it's like that, because although we've never had that kind of damage, I can imagine the feelings if it happened to me. Yeah, I can't see. The larches sometimes go over. I'm going to have a quick look. We've got some larch down here. This is a scrawny bit of the woodland. It's just starting to rain now as well, which is awesome. So, oh look, we've got batting tracks here, look. So this is a scrawny part of the woodland. We've got ash in here. This is ash. I coppiced this when we first came in, and this is what ash dieback does. It's absolutely gone dead. Dead as a doornail. And that one, look, in fact that one's got all fungus growing on it, so that one's absolutely gone. And yet this one, I believe, might still be alive. This one is, yeah, I think there's still a little bit of life left in that. So it's weird how it takes out some and leaves others in. And I don't know the science behind all that and the biology. Here's our larch. I love larch, but I won't plant larch because of phytophthora. So I tend, if I'm going to plant any kind of softwood that I want for the future, it will be western red cedar, or there's another one that they tend to use. Wow, look at that. It's probably not the best place to stand underneath here, so I shall move. Yeah, there's another garden species, I can't think what it's called off the top of my head. I've planted some, but that's quite a nice timber tree actually. It's quite resilient timber once it's growing. So I like to try and plant a bit of a variety. I like softwoods. I'm not big into softwoods, but I think a mix and a variety is important. Got some bramble clearance to do in here. This is a really weird section of the woodland. In here there was ash trees. I cut those down for firewood and they never ever grew back. There was some chestnut in here that didn't do very well because I think it's too wet at this top end. And so I've planted oaks and a few hazel, and I tell you what, it does struggle. The only thing that grows up here is this tussocky grass and bramble. And this is 20 years old, some of this. No joke. Look at the state of it. It's rubbish. Cherry trees over there, they're rubbish. So yeah, thankfully there's not much of this. It's only a little corner. And I mean, one day it'll come good, but it is slow. I mean, some of these oaks I planted, look, these are probably about 8 years old. They're not great, but they are alive. And eventually the ground will get shaded out, come good. So, yes, I think based on my initial observations of the top end, we've come off without any noticeable damage. So I'm happy about that.